Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. You are at the last gas station before you head out of Arkham, and Blisco, as you are securing the dented front fender onto the car to make sure that it's not going to come loose, somebody comes out and tells you, I heard you boys are going out traveling. You might want to take this along. And he hands you a book that says The Backroads and Beyond, Exploring America's Forgotten Corners. And this is a travel guide book. So as you guys are going along, you can find out interesting facts about the area that you are traveling through. So, is there anything else you guys want to do before you head out of Arkham?
Just stock up as much as possible.
Yeah. We unleashed an undead cat already, right?
Not yet.
Yeah, just traveling food.
Right.
Oh, okay. Some supplies, water.
Do they have
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know in
probably
1930 how easy it is to get like bullets and stuff in Massachusetts.
I mean, in Arkham, you can definitely get some bullets. You guys are fully stocked with your bullets and your guns. Who is sitting where in the car?
Unless someone else calls it, I think Dutch has been riding shotgun.
Okay.
That sounds right. Yeah.
You have control of the book.
Okay.
And one of the things that you notice when you open the inside cover is travel tips. Tip number 1, stay on the path. While the allure of the unknown is tempting, remember that not all legends lead to treasure. Some secrets are kept for a reason. Tip 2, respect the locals. Whether it's a tight-knit community of Appalachia or the secretive townsfolk of Arkham, remember that their tales and warnings come from generations of experience. Tip number 3, keep an open mind. The journey through America's heartland is a reminder that the world is more mysterious and multifaceted than we can ever imagine.
Oh boy.
And then the very first entry is the preface. And it's a little bit different than the tips. To the esteemed and cultured voyager whose refined tastes elevate them above the common rabble, this guide offers a window into the heartland of America. A journey from the sordid and ancient streets of Arkham to the quaint and somewhat unpolished environs of the inland. It's not merely a traversal of geography, but a voyage through the soul of America. Your journey commences from Arkham, a bastion of history and academia. As you depart, bid adieu to the intellectual pursuits and genteel societies, for you are to embark upon a passage through realms less enlightened. Before you depart, you may wish to visit Miskatonic University's Orne Library, home of rare texts and forbidden lore. So that's what you get out of Backroads and Beyond, Exploring America's Forgotten Corners.
So
you're stocked up. You have a picnic basket of some foods, probably some jerkies, some sody pops,
a
canteen of water.
The classic picnic basket has like tomatoes and a baguette sticking out the top for some reason, so you know it's food.
What were you going to say, Rodrigo?
So this was handed to Blisco, right?
Yeah, by just like the
gas station attendant.
Yeah.
Does it seem worn or used? Like, are the pages creased at all, or are the covers like
It
Pearls.
doesn't look like it's been used, but it definitely feels like this is something that has been around for a while. Like this is something that's been handed around for a while. The paper is not high quality paper. It's not slick and glossy. It's
Mhm.
kind of cheap paper. Like this might
Yeah.
be something that, a group who is promoting ideas or beliefs might hand out as you're driving through the byways and highways. Maybe they're trying to do it for good. Who's to say? The only
Yeah.
way is to read on.
Yeah. The other thing is that with such a whiplash of voice, um, Dutch is going to probably become more obsessed or less with what the book says and more with like kind of trying to like make a profile of like does this have multiple authors, like
Oh, okay.
is it like
Interesting.
starting with like checking in the front and see like if like the thing is like by various or something like that.
Yeah, there you don't see a buy anywhere.
Mhm.
It just feels like it's put together. I don't know, as a help, but I'm sure as you travel out of Arkham, and you all bid
Mhm.
adieu, as the book says, to Arkham, you eventually hit the Berkshires, and sure enough, Rodrigo, there's an entry for the Berkshires. Traversing the Berkshire Mountains, you'll find landscapes that inspire both awe and a sense of isolation. Amid these hills, it's easy to imagine ancient beings lurking just beyond human perception. You guys, you have a cat in the trunk of your car.
Mhm.
Is this where you want to let the cat out, or did you want to maybe do it somewhere else?
No, probably close enough to, I would say,
Yeah.
like not necessarily out in like the farthest boonies, but definitely out
Okay.
of the city.
All right. Then this probably the Berkshire Mountains are probably the best place to do that.
Bon voyage.
Meow. It looks up you with its one big, sad, half rotten eye.
You have to go be
It
free
jumps
now.
it jumps back into the front seat of the car and sits like a proud boy, sitting there all preening himself. Wow.
You have to go. We can't take you
It
with us.
it does a classic cat headbutt into your gut, and it's pretty hard. This is like a not like a soft headbutt of a cat that says, "Oh, thank you, dear friend and owner. I want you to pet me now." This is one of those that's like headbutts you, like, get out of the way. Kind of
We
hurts.
have we have to go now.
It just kind of sits there.
Look, zombie bird.
It just sits
Dutch
there.
definitely looks because like that's not outside of what they've like run into so far.
The cat does not want to leave.
Well,
I mean, do cats ever do anything you tell them to do?
I mean, and just this cat listens, but he's also an idiot, so I don't know.
well, Doc, looks like you have a decision to make. Either forcibly remove the cat or take him to the south with us.
Take him out to the corn crib. Uh
That unless you can whip him up a lady zombie cat for him to hang out with. But
that would
I heard that didn't the last time that a guy tried that it didn't go so well. Assuming that those movies have already come out.
no. I think I'm going to try and remove the animal from the vehicle.
Oh man, the fur is like thick and like matted as you grab it by the nape of its neck. And oh, as you pick it up, it's like picking up a wet sack of rotten garbage.
Why do you hate me? What have I ever done to you? I've shown you nothing but
Let
love.
me count the ways.
for 37 years.
37 years of payback coming
I've
this week.
I've showed up 2 nights a week.
You are holding a undead rotting cat by its scruff.
Well, you can't get there from here. So if I throw it as hard as I can, will it stay in one piece?
Why don't you do a agility plus athletics check, D1, and let's find
Why
out.
do I ask these questions? Why? Okay, agility plus athletics. Ooh, I'm going to be good at this. Maybe, possibly, maybe not.
One success. That's all you needed. Yes, you give your best
Dizzy Dean
javelin hurl of the cat. It goes tumbling, tail over whiskers into the bushes and lands.
Run!
Yeah,
You jump in the car and you start taking off. And Blisco, as you start to drive down the road, which is by now a dirt road, you look back and you see the cat emerge from the bushes, and it's kind of running after the car. There's no way that it's going to catch up to you.
I guess that's good.
I believe that. I guess. You know, there's no songs about cats coming back or anything.
Nice.
In my defense, I thought it was a goner.
All right. It takes you about a good part of the day to get through the Berkshires, and then you finally enter Pennsylvania. Dutch, there happens to be a little section on the area that you are driving through.
Okay.
As you cross into Pennsylvania, the Allegheny Mountains loom large, their ancient ridges like the furrowed brows of slumbering giants. Whispered tales tell of strange lights seen in the deepest woods and of travelers who walk in the forest, never to return.
After reading that entry, like Dutch will read that out loud and be like, was the world always incredibly creepy and I just didn't notice, or is this new?
It sure seems like we just missed it.
Seems like the Luminary's been around for a long time, at least.
That's true. And if my math works correctly, I was probably in high school when Doc made that cat, so I guess it's been weird.
Well, do we know what the official story on Clive's passing is?
We don't.
Stop. Regret to inform you that Private Theodore Whitmore was on 10 October killed in action in Belgium. Period. And that is all it says.
Oof. Okay. So we'll all recall that.
Yep. And of course, you all recall Theodore Clyde Whitmore dying horrendously.
Yes.
Getting killed by a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like
or what you were told was a Shoggoth.
I mean, yeah.
So wait.
Do we need to have a story together?
Yeah, I think that'd be best. I'm sure his family will want to have some more details.
Okay. Let me just put this out there, though. He had that necklace, a necklace that is in fact of like a cosmic consequence. So it's entirely possible that his family has at least some knowledge or connection to this stuff. Maybe if we want to find out about it, maybe we got to come clean.
It's worth a try.
Actually, a very good point. They have to know at least something.
Yeah. So we can, I guess let's try and play it by ear, but if it comes down to it, we did all, well, maybe some of you didn't, but I certainly fell down a ditch a couple times while we were early in our Belgium maneuvers. So we can just tell them that he fell into a deep ditch and broke his neck or something. Because we shouldn't there shouldn't have been any fire, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that maintains the story and also the integrity of the United States Army, who seems undecided about us. So, but if it looks like they know something, we might think about coming clean and talking to them about it. See if we can get any hints about anything else from the poem.
It's going to take you a day or so to get through Pennsylvania. So you're about 4 days out from Arkham. And then you cross into Ohio.
Oh.
In the bucolic fields of Ohio lies an ancient curiosity, the Serpent Mound. This sprawling effigy, a primitive homage to the forgotten deities or celestial events, is a testament to the arcane practice of the indigenous peoples. Though lacking the sophistication of Egyptian pyramids or Stonehenge, it nevertheless offers a peculiar diversion for those with an interest in the archaic and the arcane.
I've been there. Not in character. I've actually been there.
Is it pretty cool?
It honestly doesn't look like anything. That's really the problem with it, is that, like, I can see why this fictional hoity-toity guy is like, well, it lacks sophistication or whatever. Like, it's built, but it looks like a big hill. That's kind of all it looks like.
So nobody wants to go to the Serpent Mound after Dutch reads that out loud to everybody?
I kind of do, but I also don't want to blow our itinerary.
Yeah. Unless we think it is of significance.
Yeah, if it's very on the way, like if we are literally driving by it on our way to Kentucky, then maybe it's
I forget which highway it is. Maybe it's I-70. I forget what, and listeners will know. At some point when you're driving on I-70, you pass the sign from Metropolis, Illinois, I believe. And it's like, oh, this seems like a really cool thing. Let's go see the Superman statue and let's go do all that kind of stuff. And it's like a 30-minute diversion.
Yeah.
To get there. So it's probably going to be a big diversion for you guys to, again, you're already, the roads, sometimes they're paved, a lot of times they're gravel. Fortunately, you haven't run into anything where it's just like a rut, 2 ruts in the road.
Yeah.
But as you get out of major cities, the roads, we are in the very early days of public works projects.
Yeah.
So things are going to be maintained by counties or cities or whatever. There is not an interstate system. There is just a series of connected roads, sometimes travel guides, sometimes maps. But even then, Blisco, why don't you do one of your driving checks for me?
Oh boy.
To see how well your travels have been going so far. Let's do a D2 to see if you have encountered any problems so far on the trip, 4 days in.
Vehicles coordination, right?
Sure, if that's what you want, unless there's something else you think that you might want to apply.
Something other than the highest I can possibly do?
Yeah,
not really.
No, that's fine.
with a focus that gives me a crit and 5 or lower?
Yeah,
not really.
Hey, very
4
good.
successes.
4 successes. That's right. So you guys
crit and 5 or lower.
2 momentum. You get 2 momentum back. Everything just goes, everything has been surprisingly smooth sailing. Yes, there have been some snowstorms that you have passed through. Yes, there have been some areas that, are deep snows that are a little harder to pass through. But, the car that you have, Dutch's car, is doing quite well. It is, holding up very well in these conditions, almost like it was a very finely made precision vehicle that now has a loose bumper that you have, been able to keep secured to the vehicle with some wire that you got at a gas station. When you go through towns and you guys stop to eat or replenish supplies or to fill up gas, people seem to be genuinely interested in who you are and where you're from and where you're going to. Almost like they,
witches who want us all to die.
Yeah, I think we can probably give him the most romantic version of, we're former U.S. soldiers. We're on the way to see the family of our fallen comrade and try to not give away anything else and more than that.
Yeah, you tell that to everybody that you meet along the way. That's the story.
Yeah, that's the general story, I think.
Paying our respects.
If that's okay with the rest of the team. I'll take that as a yes.
All right. At one gas station, it's just a kid that's filling up with gas. Golly gee gosh, mister. That's some story.
That's right, young whippersnapper. Make sure you eat your vegetables and drink your milk.
Yep.
Gosh, I can't wait to join the military. I'm going to remember you guys when I get into the military.
Yep. Well, look up. I'll give him the name of the Sarge.
Sergeant Doolittle. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Look up Sergeant Doolittle.
Yes, sir. I certainly will, sir. Thank you so much. And he's waving at you guys. He's got some mittens on and, one of those deer hunter plaid flap hats. Because it is cold. It is cold.
Yeah.
You finally cross over into Indiana. And Indiana also has some unique oddities. As one ventures further, Indiana purports to offer its own crossroads of fable, where souls are bargained for fleeting musical fame. While undoubtedly an Americanized version of older, more cultured legends, the story attracts a certain type of person, often found loitering about with the hopes of glimpsing the supernatural. One can only hope they find what they're looking for, though one doubts it will be of any true substance. So, Rodrigo, Dutch, you were wondering, could this be written by a bunch of different people? And the voices have the same tone.
Okay.
But certainly it appears that different people have contributed to this book.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, there's definitely early on, there was a pretty homey sounding guy. And then this guy, there's a posh guy, and then maybe a more professional voice as well. So Dutch has counted 3 voices so far.
Okay. Anything you guys want to do or need to do while you are in Indiana? Let's see. Blisco, why don't you roll me again a single D20? 9. You encounter, almost as soon as you get into the great state of Indiana, go Hoosiers, you encounter an extreme windstorm that makes it very difficult to travel. The snow is blowing. You end up in a very small town for at least a day while the windstorm and the snows blow through. Otherwise, you would not be able to see where you're going. So you are delayed by a day thanks to this windstorm kicking up snow and everything else.
What's the name of the town?
The name of the town is Carlisle, Indiana.
Interesting.
Anything about it on the book?
You look through the book and you come under Indiana. There's a lot of different entries. It says for Carlisle, it's lists a bunch of cities and it just, has a single word or phrase next to it. Carlisle, wholly uninteresting.
Nice.
Mostly harmless.
No, it says wholly uninteresting.
That's what I like to see.
Well, that's better than unholy and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, you guys have found lodgings here and there. Being a smart world traveler that you are, Dutch, you would know that it's probably best to stay in as large cities as you possibly can.
Sure.
This one, though, is very hard to find, a hotel. There's not a hotel in Carlisle, Indiana. Carlisle, Indiana probably has a population of maybe 1,000 people. Yeah, they have a motor, they call it a motor lodge, and it's where you can pull your car right up to the door of the room that you're staying in, and you can sleep on beds that are mostly okay. The wind, though, does whistle through the windows, and the next morning you can find small piles of snow piled up in your room.
Mm.
Just because the doors leak, the windows leak, all that stuff.
Right.
Is there a radiator type heating device?
There is not a radiator. There is a wood stove. Each room has its own wood stove.
That's nice. Dangerous, but nice.
I mean, don't throw your wool blanket right next to it. That's for sure.
Sure. All right.
It takes a day or so, but you are able to finally get out of Carlisle, Indiana. You were able to grab sandwiches at the grocery store or the general store, maybe some beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Jerky.
And then you cross over into Kentucky. The world's largest cave system, Mammoth Cave, is a place of profound silence and darkness. Legends abound of lost civilizations and monstrous creatures dwelling in its uncharted depths. Tours available, but some say the true secrets of the cave are kept hidden, unknown, or known. You see it's like actually scratched out on the page. Known or unknown, only to those who dare roam off the guided paths. So that's its big entry for Kentucky.
Yeah. This guy's definitely Southern. Like Dutch is taken to just like analyzing their word usage and conjugation. This guy, I'm pretty sure, this other guy here, I'm pretty sure is from New York specifically, because the word usage definitely is New England, but the hoity-toityness is definitely New York.
Is this handwritten?
No, this is typed, and you can tell that it's printed. It's like a printing press type thing, but it's like cheap paper, just
Right, and somebody actually made a correction on the actual prime, whatever you call it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, main document or whatever.
Yeah.
So you are about a day out from Barlow, Kentucky, which is your final destination.
Is there anything I've been able to make of the other book we got from Miskatonic?
From the Illuminati's book, yeah, it is full of it's full of spells. You can kind of make out it's encoded, and good thing that you have cryptography, right? So you can kind of see the encryption that they've used, but you're not super familiar with the exact languages. But with the help of Dutch, you guys are able to kind of piece out that the first part of the book is dire warnings, like 5 pages of just dire warnings about do not proceed, do not do this. Here's the reason why we were allowed to do it, but you should not. Danger, 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 danger. And then you get to a rather lengthy spell, which there's some weird words in there that you are not able to fully pronounce at this point. It does seem a little familiar to the spell that Antoine taught you. As far as its cadence and some of the words. But it appears to be something that is an opening spell of some kind.
Opening what?
Well, I think we saw.
Oh, valid point.
Well, it should be pointed out that Evelyn Carter was not using the spell from this book. She was using a spell from the Great NATO's Party Tricks Volume 2.
Right.
Okay. Advanced party tricks.
Yeah. And then there's again more warnings. There is you can kind of tell that one spell is the opening spell, but it does have warnings and cautions about going through danger, 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 death awaits, blah, blah, blah. And then there's it literally says blah, blah, blah. Then there is a section on closing the whatever. Would you take a will plus resilience check, Brian?
All right.
Uh-oh.
This will be a
First-
D2.
Burn the books.
Ooh.
Oh,
Uh,
we're healed up, right?
Oh, yeah, everybody's healed up. Full heal, 3 fortune for everybody. You did quite well dealing with college kids and the dating scene and monsters abounding, dead cats.
we got some extra momentum, right?
You have 2 momentum.
All right, I'll go ahead and burn one of those.
Okay.
And hey, 2 successes.
Oh,
and a
2 successes and a failure.
Mhm.
Complication.
A complication. You are, after reading through this, Valentino, and after you figure out how the encryption works and how they've encoded this, you are completely fascinated by what you are able to piece together. So much so that after you read through the book the first time, you instantly go back to the beginning of the book and you read through it again. And you go back to the beginning of the book and you read through it again. You now have, for now, it's not a mental stress, but it is a mental complication where you have become obsessed with this book.
Okay.
What are the odds that any of us notice that before it goes on for 3 or 4 days?
Oh, no way. Dutch is like out loud, boring the hell out of you guys, trying to like construct a psychological profile of the authors of this book that doesn't matter.
Prepare yourselves for the quaint charms of Barlow, Kentucky. This small township, nestled in the rugged hills of the Bluegrass State, offers a glimpse of a simpler, if not entirely sophisticated, way of life. The local populace, while amiable, possesses a rustic demeanor that some find charmingly provincial. Barlow, with its modest main street and unassuming facades, presents few, if any, luxuries of which you, dear traveler, are undoubtedly accustomed to. The local cuisine, heavily reliant on traditional Southern fare, is hearty, if lacking in finesse. You may wish to partake in a sample of their local dishes, if only to say that you've done so. In terms of lodging, options in Barlow are, as one might expect, somewhat limited. The discerning traveler is advised to seek accommodations that offer the most in comfort and privacy, though it's wise to temper expectations. The hospitality of Barlow residents is genuine and forthcoming, even if their establishments lack the polish of more cosmopolitan locales.
Nice. I mean, for a book that's like, hey, there's some weird lights in this forest, the fact that they didn't mention anything like that is kind of a good sign.
That's a lot of words to say. Backwoods, Kentucky.
Well, to say there's only probably one inn in town.
Right.
We can take bets. I say 1 inn and 3 liquor stores.
I say a boarding house,
Okay.
1 inn, and at least 3 shops selling fishing.
Okay. Blisco?
Church next door to each of the liquor stores.
Okay. Valentino? Valentino?
What? Yeah. What's that?
What do you think is found here?
Maybe I'm gonna go with an old dried up mine and 1 schoolhouse.
Okay.
So the roads here are pretty rugged, and you've been driving for quite some time, and then up ahead, with the snow on the ground, you see what looks like a group of people doing something in the middle of the road. Looks like they're trying to clear off the road. And around them are people on horseback.
Oh.
And at least a car that looks like a official police car of some kind. As you approach, you can see that the men on horseback have rifles and shotguns. And the men that are in the road clearing it are wearing like jumpsuits, but they are all chained together.
Oh, a prison. That would have been so good. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
As you slowly drive by, let's see, who do I want to do this? Dutch, please roll me an observation plus insight. A D2, please.
One success.
Only one success. These guys look cold. These guys look, like they've been worked very hard, but you don't notice anything out of the ordinary at this point.
Okay.
As you drive past the road crew, this is obviously a chain gang. As you drive past Blisco, suddenly the sheriff's lights on his car light up, and you hear the woo, woo, woo. He wants to pull you over.
Pull on over.
All right.
All right. We'll stick to
Pull
the
over,
story.
and yeah, you've missed. You are a ways away from the chain gang. They're not in your clear sight at the moment. But the sheriff gets out of his car as the siren starts to wind down. It's one of those sirens that like you might find if you find one of those turning ones that after it stops, it's just like
like winds down.
Yeah, winds down. And this guy has a fur-lined collar and a leather coat. He's got a cowboy hat on with some green sunglasses. And he slowly walks up to the car. He's got his thumbs tucked into his belt. As he gets close to the back of the car, he looks at the license plate and kind of looks back to where he came from. Steps back, looks at the car in full, walks up to the driver's side window and taps on the glass.
Roll it down.
Roll it down, and the sheriff kind of leans into the window and he pulls his sunglasses down so he's looking over the bridge of his nose. Hello, fellas. What can I do you for in my county? And he goes and spits out a big old spit of tobacco onto the ground.
Hi. We are
Fancy boys, huh?
We are a little fancy, definitely. We are on our way to visit the family of a gentleman we served with, and we
Yeah, what
believe,
family is that?
that would be the Whitmores.
Whitmore's, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I lost a boy a little while back. Is that what you boys have business here with?
Yeah, we're here to speak with the family, pay our respects.
He spits a big old line of tobacco juice right over the hood of the car over to the other side of the road. And he just kind of grins at you, Blisco, and you can see tobacco stains in his teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Here to visit the family, huh? Bring them money? Family needs money right now. They're in trouble with the bank.
I mean, that's not off the table. We can...
Really?
Yeah, we'd like to see them. We'd like to figure out what they need and see if we can do anything about it. I mean, we're...
Got money with you?
No, we were planning on wiring some. Although we do have a sandwich if you'd like.
Funny boy, huh?
Yeah.
And he kind of leans in a little bit and looks in the back. What are you fellas? He's looking right at you, Doc.
I'm a doctor.
That's funny. He looks back at you again, Dutch. Boys planning on causing trouble here?
No.
That's good, because Sheriff Granger doesn't like people who cause trouble in my county. Then he kind of looks back again at you, Valentino, goes, though you probably wouldn't last a day. Spits again. Well, boys, I would suggest to you that whatever business you have in Barlow, you make it quick and you get out quick. You follow?
We follow.
And at that minute, you hear like a bunch of guns going off. You hear rifles and shotguns just firing off in the distance from where you guys came from. The sheriff slowly turns his head and looks back. May need a few more men on the road crew pretty soon. And he's looking right at you, Dutch.
I'll keep that in mind.
You do that. You do that. I'm going to let you boys go with a warning. Not to be speeding through my county. And let's hope that I don't run into yous again.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Good
And
day.
he slowly turns on his heels, pushes up his glasses, and walks back to his car, and just kind of stands there with the door open, like 1 foot on the floorboard car, just kind of standing, looking at you guys, waiting for you to drive off.
Mm-hmm.
And he continues to spit his tobacco. A man on a horse rides up, says something you guys can't hear.
Yep. Yeah, let's calmly get out of here.
Yershtiskilas.
Hey, Blisco, why don't you do another one of them driving things and see if you drive off in a calm manner or not.
Okay. What's my difficulty?
D1. Hey,
Or
2
successes.
4 successes. Good Lord, I'm going to have to up the... No, that's good.
Look,
You guys got lots of momentum.
We let me drive. We get momentum.
Yeah, Blisco, you slowly put the car into gear and you try to ease out slowly from where you've been pulled over. It's pretty clear at this point why there's a road crew, because you guys kind of spin out a little bit before you get a little traction. And then you're able to drive slowly down the road. As you look in your rearview mirror, you can see the sheriff turning around and following the man who is now galloping back to where they came from. And he is out of sight.
Well, that gentleman was pleasant.
Yep. I gotta say, I honestly didn't learn much in my time with the army, but it taught me how to handle figures of authority, which I was very bad at before.
I think we may want to make our time very short here.
Well, we're here to see Clyde's family. We'll take the time we need, and if it becomes a problem, then we'll deal with the problem.
It takes you another couple of hours to get to Barlow proper. You are driving. In this region, it is somewhat mountainous. And so you're going up and down hills. You are going around dangerous curves that feel like, oh my gosh, at any minute we could drop off into the ravine. You see a lot of like shacks along the edge of the ravines, just built right onto the edge of the road almost. Some smoke coming out as there is snow still around. Smoke coming out of the chimneys. And you can tell that this area, maybe at one time, was maybe a little bit more well-to-do, but has fallen into a harder times. In fact, by the time you reach Barlow, Kentucky, you realize that this town is very, very poor. If one were to ask you later to describe it, you would probably say it reminds you of Dunwich, where you were just at, but southern and more poor. This is a mining town. And as you pull into the main area, there may be only 200 or 300 people in town proper. You notice that there is a gas station, and the gas station is a little bit wider than what you'd normally see the gas stations that are just serving gas. This one's got a little cafe attached to the side of it, and above it, it just says food. And then on the other side of the gas station, also attached to the building, is a garage repair shop. There's also in this main street, and there's really only a main street, and then things that lead off into the hillside. There is a gas station. We already mentioned that. There is a general store. It looks, like it's been there a while. It's very squatty, I guess is the best way that I could describe it. There is a small train station that looks like it brings goods from a nearby larger city. Had you taken a train to here, you probably would have arrived at this train station. Mm-hmm. But this is more like a building with a small waiting room and a ticket counter, but you're generally expected to be waiting out on the train platform. You see another building at the end of town that is 2 stories high, and the sign on top of the building says Underhill Mining Syndicate. It is a brick building. It looks to be a very solid building. And sure enough, in a couple of places in town, as you look around, you can see some houses that were probably built. They are definitely in the Victorian style, although they have run down quite a bit. But at the height of this town's mining, these houses would have been like the to-dos. This would have been the wealthy people. There's still, you can sense a sense of wealth in these homes, but it's faded quite a bit.
The people who used to be wealthy, who still have china but can't put any food on it.
Yep. You also see a small brick bank that the sign on the above the bank says Darkwater Savings and Loan. There is a sign in the window as you drive past that says closed. And then in the center of the town, you see the county courthouse. It's called the Boyd County Courthouse. It's another brick building, 3 stories. This one is also done in a Victorian era style and was definitely built during the period of the boom of mining in this area, where people had a lot of money to dump into their county courthouse because, hey, this county is going to grow and do some awesome things. Then on the very edge of town, you see a church. It's a very, very old church. It's built of granite. And oddly, it looks like the design looks like it is Italian. But that's really odd for this portion of the county because you would expect it to be wooden or stone, but not built of granite in an Italian design. There is a schoolhouse, and the schoolhouse also looks like it doubles as the town library. And then along the main thoroughfare, there's, besides a grocery store, general store, mercantile, you see a camp store, and you see a newspaper place for printing a newspaper, printers.
Okay.
And I think how about we just say that you have now arrived in Barlow, Kentucky, and just take a break right there. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Stephen Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.